afternoon, and welcome to another exclusive edition of GK Nigeria exclusive interview series where we get to interact with experts, scholars, and innovators from different fields of the world. And GK Nigeria is an online media company that is centered around creating content about education, lifestyle, and technology. And today, on this exclusive interview series, we have a special guest in which her name is Mottie Crayton, which is the best graduating student of Microbiology and Industrial Biotechnology from Caleb University. My name is Adile Anuluapo, and I'll be the host for today's exclusive interview series. Hello, Mottie, and how are you doing this afternoon?
Hi, I'm doing great.
All right, it's nice to meet you, Moti, and thanks for being on the show with us this afternoon. I think it's morning over there, right?
Yeah, it's 10 a.m.
Okay, all right, okay. So, Moti, let's get to meet you.
Okay.
Who do we have on the show today? So, who is Moti? Can you introduce yourself to us?
Yeah. So, my name is Moti Crayton. Um, I graduated as best student in my department for 2024 microbiology and industrial biotechnology. And um, yeah, Moti is very determined. She's very, if she sets her mind to do something, she definitely will. Yeah. So basically, hard work, you know?
All right, that's great to know. That's nice. So, can you tell us what inspired you to study microbiology and what do you hope to achieve in the field?
Hmm. Well, uh, to be fair, I didn't want to study microbiology. Yeah, I wanted to study nursing, and then I think I couldn't get it, and then I had to write jam again. And well, one day I just decided to like check up universities. My mom was like, just pick a private, like, because at that time everyone was like, I think it was like COVID, I think COVID-ish. So like universities were not really having classes except private. So she was like, just pick a private university. I was like, okay. I just went online and I picked Caleb University. And I was like, I really like biology, like, biology. So I was like, let me just pick microbiology, like it's the closest thing. But little did I know, like, it would be one of the best things for me. Yeah. So, I mean, and I just picked Caleb University, got into school 2020.
Okay, that's inspiring. So, can you like take us a little back to your background, like your educational background? So, tell us. Let's
Okay.
get to know that part.
Okay. Educational background. I did my primary school in K Cartoon. I don't know if in K Cartoon Memorial School is in Surulere. And then I moved. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
The call. So and then I moved to uh Unilag Staff School. I continued my primary school in Unilag Staff School. And I was thinking I would go to ISL, like, from staff school to ISL. But my mom was like, no, I'm going to boarding school, which I did. And um, I would say that when I was in boarding school, it was a bit challenging for me. But I think my primary school was a good educational background for me, like a very good one, a very solid one. So in secondary school, I was just like making use of the background that I had from primary school. But I would say that in primary school, I didn't really used to read. Even in secondary school, I was just, like I said, it was the background of primary school. So it built me up so much that in secondary school it was easy, it was a little bit easy. But when I got into SS1, and like my science courses, I was flopping a little bit. I was like, what is going on? And then I mean, my further maths was so bad. Just let me not talk about that. And I was like, no, I don't think I'm meant to be in science. I was like, no. Then my mom would come to school and she would see my further maths and she would be like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know. Stuff like that. But when I entered university, there were some things that I said to myself first. I like I said earlier, I didn't get the nursing, right? So I had a lot of determination in me, a lot of drive. I was like, I've stayed back when my mates like went to university. Like I just want to make the best of it. And I realized that in university I got that drive to really, really, really read, like read on my own, like read so well. And it really, really shaped me. It really helped me a lot. So that's the background.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. So you talked about having difficulty when you're in secondary school with science subjects. So please, can you tell us how you're able to overcome it, and also going into university to study biology for someone that does not even like science, that is not so good in science subjects. So how were you able to work with that?
Yeah. I remember something. I think I went when I was in secondary school. I wanted to go to science because I think somebody was in science that I like was my friend. So like I think that's why. But looking back, I feel like it's one of the best decisions of my life. We'll get there. So I would say that um when I was in secondary school, yeah, I really didn't really get the science courses like that. I did, but math was the issue. I did biology well, so hence the reason why I would choose microbiology. So because I loved the biology, but I didn't like the math and stuff like that. It was like really challenging for me. But when I got into the university, like I said, I had the determination. That was one on the side, and my love for biology was another thing. So I would basically say that um, whatever anybody wants to get into, whatever any student wants to get into, they they should they should really go into what they love. Like for me, I loved biology. So when I was studying microbiology in the university, I was very happy. Like I wanted to know more. I wanted to know more because I love biology, right? So I want to know more about biology. So that was like, it for me. And but some people don't have it that way. Some people like they they study what they might not really like. But I think if I was in the shoes to say that, um, maybe if you don't like something and then you start studying it and then you end up liking it, maybe for some people it's like that, yeah. So I think that, but the most important thing I want to say is that um, determination is key. And if you're dedicated, especially if you're looking at the fact that I went to a private school, so the money that was paid for my school fees, like there's some factors that made me to be determined. My school fees, I didn't want it to waste. I didn't want to have any carryover. I just wanted to make my parents proud, me myself, like, of course I want to make myself proud. So like all those things were just in my head, I want to make my mom proud, want to make myself proud. So I just went in with that. And then when I got into the university, I want to say something like the friends that you have can also like build you up. So the friends you have can build you and can break you. So it like depends. Yeah. So it depends. So the friends that I had, the first friend sorry, gifts, blessing. Like, yeah, those friends, like, they love to read as well. So I was just so lucky to have them. So, and then they gave me that drive. We will read together. In 200 level, we separated because they were in biochemistry, then I was in microbiology. But like, they gave me the drive as well. So it's the friends you make too would help you a lot, and your determination will help you a lot. When I started in 100 level, everything was easy because we did like objectives only for like exams. So it was like, yeah, everything was like easy. Then I got to 200 and I'm like, what is this? Like, I have to now get my own notes. This is when I started getting my notes by myself, um getting my points right from my lectures, getting my own points to write them down for exams because this is not objective anymore. So stuff like that that made me to really be built. And my lecturers, another thing for me, my department, I'll vouch for my department. Yeah. My lecturers, they don't condone any form of um not even the minimum. You can't even turn. Like, those things build me up more. Like, normally I wouldn't like cheat, but it made me to be like, I'm going to that exam. I know my lecturers. I know that if I don't read, I'm going to fail the course because I you cannot ask anyone for anything, which is really good, which is it built me up more. And I'm very grateful for my lecturers. I'm very, very grateful. Like, they did the best thing for us, to be fair. So just like that, going and going. 300 level. Okay, when I was in 100 level, my CGPA was good. I think I had like 4 point something, 4.4 something, you know. Then I think in 200 level it was really good, like 4.6 something. And then 300 level, so it's like, sometimes I want to say something. Sometimes when you see your results, you could feel discouraged because it's good. To other people it's good, but to you it might not, it's not what you want, because you don't want to
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
yes, you don't want to go down. Like, you don't want to go down because it's really bad, because you started strong. So once you start strong, all you need to do is you have to try to maintain it, because if you don't maintain it, it's easy to go down, like, really, really bad. So I don't know if, like, yeah, upcoming students, if you're just entering the university, always try to build your CGPA and try to maintain it, make it better than the last. So your aim is to make it better than the last, because sometimes what I used to have like less than the last, and I'm like, no. And then I'll have to, I felt so discouraged, you know. Then I would go back, get my jotters, jot more, thrive more, read for long hours. If I say my story about reading, I don't know if, like, I would literally cry. I'm not joking. Sometimes.
Don't worry, we are going to get there. We really want to know that story.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we want
So,
to know the story, so you can move on. Let us know the story.
okay. So when I read for long hours. My course is very broad. You have different branches of microbiology: bacteria, viruses, parasites, fungi. We have different, like, diverse. So you have to read a lot about each. We had different courses, and I will have different notes. I will have different jotters, and then I would be in the reading room. I had other friends like Owen, Ogechi, Demi. Owen, like, we would read together, and then I would I would read for long hours, and I would literally see people passing by, and sometimes they're like pitying me. They're saying like, "Oh my God, you're reading so much. I pray God helps you." But in my mind, I'm like, "Thank you. Aren't you going to read to, like, the way I'm reading?" Like, I used to like feel. Sometimes I used to feel like, "Oh my God, everybody is like." not reading, and I'm like reading so much. Sometimes I would read, I would read in the night if maybe if they take our light by like 3, we have lights throughout. But if they take the lights maybe around 3 or so, and if I want to read, I'll bring my torchlight into the reading room. I would read on. I would walk. I would. I do a lot to like make my stuff get in my head because it has to get in my head. Because remember, I cannot even turn in my exam hall. Like it's not even an option, which is good. So I'm like, I have to put in my all. So sometimes I would take my pillow, I'll walk around, read. I'll be so like the way you see me now. You don't want to see me when I'm in school. I was so teen and I was so
But
terrible.
but if I may ask, was there a reason behind that intense reading,
Yeah,
or did you have like a goal? You're like, do you have a goal you were pursuing, or were you just trying to? Okay, I just want to make myself proud. Was there a reason behind that intense reading?
yes, yes. Thank you. There was, there was. Now, the what I said when I got into 100 level was that I wanted to graduate with the best. Like I wanted to be the best in my department. Yes, actually, I said that to myself. I will get to a point where I doubted it at a certain time, you know. So I said that to myself, and I was working towards it, and that is that was my drive. Yeah, because I was like, if I do well my first class, yeah, I hear a lot of people say that, oh, it's not gonna matter, it's not it matters now, because when I came to America, I got my first job, and people were like, you came and you got a job in the lab. I work in
Wow,
the lab with one of the best, in fact the best lab in America, in sorry, in
that's impressive.
Ireland, sorry. So I'm like, it helped me. So let's go back to it. So I just had that drive that if I had my first class, I'll be like, it would make me so happy, and graduating as the best student in my department will make me really happy. Like I just wanted to. And not only that, it would give me a verge. Like some people thought that it wouldn't give them. Like they'll say, "Oh, what are you even going to use it for?" But for me, I already knew where I was coming, and I already knew that this is what I had to do, because yeah. So that's just basically that side, and I would
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, you can continue.
Okay. I would read for so long. There was a day that I read. Me and my friends would sit down in the reading room, and I was reading until I started crying. I cried because I was like, I can't take it anymore. Like I can't do it. Like I was just so
Yeah,
tired. Like at that point I was really
fine. Yeah.
tired. I was really
Sorry.
tired. I just had to, but I was that's the thing. I was so tired, but I was like, I have to do what I said I wanted to do, which is come out to
Okay.
read, because I knew where I was going, right? So it was really, really challenging. I
Sure. Trust me.
friends, everybody was like, it's okay. I was like, God, what am I going to do? I just have to read. it was it was
That's really inspiring. Trust me. If there's something I can pick from all this, I would say Moti is a determined person.
yes.
That is who you are, and I'm so happy for you that your determination, your
Yeah,
hard work, everything paved the way. But
yeah,
I would like to ask you, was there at any point in which you doubted yourself, like, oh, I don't think I can reach up to get up to this, like get
yeah.
to my goal? Did you doubt yourself at any point,
Oh
maybe
my God.
because of a cause, or do you like, was
Yeah.
there at any point in which you doubted yourself? And how were you able to overcome that doubt? What did you do?
Oh yes, there was at the point I doubted myself. Yes. Um, like I said, there are times that the grades will go down. So in those moments, I did doubt myself. But I want to say thank you to my lecturers. And that is the reason is because At the moments when I doubted myself, a particular semester that I had a lesser score than what I should have, to boost it up instead of letting it go down. In class the next day, my lecturer, Dr. Demola, he came into the class, and just like, I don't know if God sent him, because the thing when immediately he came to the class, he was like, I know everybody have seen their results. Some of you did better than the last. Some of you did lesser than the last. But just put in your best and just try. And I felt like, God, like I just needed that encouragement. I just needed, because when he's talking, I'm always like nodding my head. I just needed that encouragement at that moment, because my grades, instead of it to go up, it's like coming down. At that point, I was like, God, am I even going to be like the best anymore? I started doubting myself. And I really, really doubted myself, because um, I think at the point then somebody told me their CGPA, and I think it was like 2 points higher than mine, or like something like that. And I was like, oh, God, I tried my best. I think we were like in 300 level at that point. I was like, I tried my best. I mean, it was my goal. It was my dream, like it was my goal to be the best. But at this point, I mean, somebody's already hired me. So I felt bad at that point as well. But I was like, it is what it is. But I just want people to know that you regardless of where, like, if you don't get something, it doesn't mean that it's the end uh of the world, because I feel like we shouldn't pressure, like, well, I'm not going to go into parents and pressure, right? As a student, you shouldn't like put so much pressure on yourself, but at the same time, if you're determined, especially in this society, if you want to be the best somewhere, like if you want to go somewhere, if you want to use your degree, or if you're doing anything, just make sure that you do your best, and make sure that whatever is worth doing well. So if you fall, stand up again. If you fall, stand up again. If you fall, stand up again. So that's just it. That's just it. You, yeah.
Thank you, Moti. That's really great word. So if you fall, that's not the end of the world. You can always stand up. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you very much. So you said you wanted to study nursing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For someone that loved, but you knew that you loved biology right from time. So what inspired the nursing, and how did you feel when you were given nursing, when you didn't get admission to study nursing? How did you feel about that?
Okay.
And why did you want to study nursing initially?
Okay. Well, let's go. Initially, when I was like really little, I used to say I want to be a pediatrician. So, because I love children, like as I was growing, like maybe 7, 8, I started like I love children. I was like, I want to be a pediatrician. What do you want to become a pediatrician? And then I was like, then in secondary school, I changed it. I was like, I don't know if I want to be a doctor anymore. I want to be a nurse. Then me and my friend Melissa Malcolm, she's in the UK now. We would say that, oh, we're gonna build our hospital. We're gonna call it Momel Hospital. Moti, Melissa, Momel. So just we just had dreams, and then we changed them. We're like, no, we want to be like nurses. So I actually like wanted to be a nurse. Like it's like close to doctor, right? So that's what. And then I wrote the. I think my mom took me. My mom took me to Oshun State to write my nursing exams, and then I was so excited, but at the same time nervous. And I wrote the exam, and then when the results came out, my mom, she didn't tell me because I failed it. I think I had like six or so, over 20 or so, because I failed it. She didn't tell me, so because like she didn't want me to feel so bad at that point, because I think at that point, I think my jam wasn't so good, something like that. So I think something made her not to like tell me about the nursing score because it was really bad. And I was like, "Ugh, do I even really want to do this? Like maybe it's not for me, you know?" But I realized that now I can say that for me personally, my own point of view, um nothing is like hard for you to do if you want to do it. So if I wanted to do nursing, if I loved nursing, I think what I should have done was I should have put in more effort. But I want to say something else. What I want to say is that I was not mature enough as well. I was not mature enough to want it. Do you get what I mean? I was not mature to want to
Yes, I
want.
do.
Yes. So that was because if you're mature to want something, you're gonna get it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna get it. So that's basically it. You know.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. So, Mottie, based on your course of study
Hmm.
and microbiology, are there any specific research areas in microbiology that interest you the most?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give
Okay.
us an insight into that?
Okay. Um, my deep interest for microbiology. I know we would read, right? We would read and have little practicals here and there in school. My interest grew higher when I did my IT at the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Yaba, NIMA. So when I did my IT at NIMA, I got to see what I was studying. So I got to see the hands-on work in the lab, and it encouraged me a lot. Now, the part of microbiology that I like so much from working at NIMA is antimicrobial resistance. It's it's a it's an amazing branch of microbiology. It deals with bacteria, of course, but it deals with the fact that you know how we misuse and overuse antibiotics. It can cause the organisms that makes us to fall sick to have a resistance. So then over time, these drugs don't work anymore. And then I was opportune to even carry out a project in NIMA, like with it's called a summer project where kids are diagnosed with a particular illness, and then the drugs there in that particular state is not working for them, and we are trying to get their samples, run their samples, find the most suitable drugs. You would know when you like. I wouldn't go deep into microbiology, but to find the drugs that are suitable for them, which we which we used to do like every day, like 500 samples, stuff like that would come in every day. It was, yeah, this part of NIMA would later help me now. Sorry. It will help me now because where I'm working, we do a lot of samples as well. So it was really great. Antimicrobial resistance is my best part of microbiology, and bacteriology is my best part. For now, I work in the parasitology department. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So, talking about your career goals, I think I don't even need to ask you about what are your career goals because definitely you said you're working already, in
Yeah.
which I'm very happy to hear that. Congratulations. So, can you give us an insight into how you were able to secure a job?
Yeah.
Just, let's encourage graduates out there.
Yeah.
Just give us an insight into it.
Yes. So for this one, I would say thank you to God. Like I would say thank you to God for everything. This job, when I came here, I came last year, December, like let's say late December, like let's say 20 something, yeah. I used to come for to stay permanently last year, December. And then I was checking online, like you go online on some sites like Indeed, LinkedIn, you'll be typing your jobs, lab jobs. I already have a degree, right? So I'm like, I got myself my resume, put all my stuffs, my merits and all those things in my resume, and I'm like, yeah, I know a lot of stuff from NIMA, hands-on work, lab work. So I put them in my resume, started what to call it started applying. So um I would apply. The first time I applied, my god, sorry.
It's fine. You're
I
back
got
on
it.
now.
Yeah, the first time I applied, right, um I got a, like, oh, unfortunately, your resume is good, but unfortunately, there's other people have applied. So when I'm like, this is my first time, I started crying to my friends. I'm like, oh my god, see what they sent to me. And then I would apply again, because remember, when you fall you stand up again. So like I would just apply again, and then again they'll tell me the same thing, but over like 8 jobs they told me the same, 8 lab jobs. I was already like, okay, fine, fine, fine. Then one day I just clicked on Indeed, saw IDEX lab laboratory. Just like, I'm a lab associate. So I just like put my resume, blah, blah, blah. And I just left it. I'm like, well, you know, then, then, I got an email from IDEX. So like, I would like to interview you at a certain day. I saw your resume. I was like, oh my god, I was like so happy. I didn't even care at this point. I didn't even care. I didn't really know what IDEX, so I didn't even care at the point. So I was just like, I told my lecturer, he's my supervisor, Dr. Dimola. I mentioned, yeah, he's also my supervisor. So I like asked him for advices. So I told him immediately I got a job at IDEX. My interview is on Monday. He was like, okay, okay. He sent me like the link of IDEX. Look through this. So my workplace, we deal with pet samples, dogs and cats samples and all of that. So like, I just looked into it. I was prepping. You know me, like I was prepping. So I think my interview got postponed. I was like, okay, more time to prep. I fasted. I was like, this one is for me. I would call my name on the interview. I would be like, Crayton, Mottie, this job is yours, blah, blah, blah. I would pray, I would fast. I fasted for 3 days up until the day of the interview. You wouldn't believe that on the day of my interview, interview is meant to be like tight, like, you're meant to, like, so many questions. And then the lady was just like, um, tell me your name. I was like, my name is Mottie Crayton. And she was like, have you ever had lab I was like, yes, Naima. I was like, I worked in Naima. I did a lot of interviews. Sorry, outside the interview. I did a lot of hands-on work in the lab, and then she was like, great, great, that's great. And she was like, okay, I didn't even know she was going to give me, but I made her to know that I wanted it. Right in my interview, I made her to know that I can do anytime. I'm very determined. She asked me to. She was like, I should tell her about myself. I was like, I'm very determined, dedicated. But I was just talking, and she was like, good, great. She was so kind, and she was like, welcome to IDEX. I was like, what? I was so excited. I was like, yeah.
Wow.
I was like so happy. So I called. So I told him, Dr. Dimola, I told everybody, my lecturers, Dr. Kotu, Dr. Shaka, I told all of them, Dr. Makinde, all of them were so happy.
Wow. That's really great and inspiring.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And congratulations once again.
Thank you.
So, can you describe a challenging problem you encountered in your school or in your research, and how were you able to solve it? And you said you worked the 9 marks you mentioned. Is it
Yeah.
like a school project
No.
or
Okay. I had my school. Naima is like an institute for where samples are brought in, medical samples. It's just like it's not a hospital, but it's a
Okay, was it while you were in school you did that?
yeah. So my school, we have when we're in 300 level, we go for IT. Yeah. So I which I did. I went for my IT at NIMA. So my school will tell you to go and work in the lab, for instance, because microbiology. So yeah, that was where I got my. But if I was to say challenges, I wouldn't say I had challenges in NIMA because you know I was working with them. But my project, I would talk about. If you want me to talk about my project, it was challenging for me. Yeah, because after my IT in 300 level, we start our project as well. So my project was like I told you, because my supervisor he asked us, "What do you like to do?" I was like, "I want to do antimicrobial resistance," and he gave me a topic about some antibiotics. I wouldn't want to stress the name with you, so like some antibiotics. That was the name of my topic, and then I was excited, like really excited, because it's something that I love, right? So. I had to get samples from different hospitals, two hospitals, right? Evercare and one other radiology hospital. So I did that, but it was challenging. I would have to go there, put in my samples into my preservatives, um, just buy um, my antibiotics. All those things were really challenging, but I mean, it was amazing. My supervisor was the best. Like he sat down with us. I was able to, apart from learning from Naima, I was able to learn a lot of things about my project from him. So he sat down with us. He made sure that all our project was well done. And he was just the best, to be fair. Yeah. But it was challenging.
All right. Yeah, but how were you able to solve the challenges? What did you do? How did you approach the challenges? You talked about your project, so what did you do?
Okay. Now, one of the challenges was that, the lecturers cannot stay with us throughout, right? They have to go home. So we're working in the lab, and then um my samples were a little bit much, a little bit. So I would have to do all of them. Like if I'm doing a particular thing today, let's say if I'm culturing today, I'm culturing a lot of samples, and then I'm doing it, and time is going, and I have to be in the hostel, and at a certain time they don't want people in the lab or in the school building. So like they take the light, so maybe probably around 7, and then I'm really tired. I'm just so tired, but I'm like, I have to do it. Like it's my project, I have to do it. Like, and it's something that I want to see the result. I want to know the end result of what I'm doing, right? So I was excited, but like I had the challenges for me would say I would say is I was a little bit exhausted. So I don't know what challenge do you mean? Because for me it was I don't think it's really a challenge to be exhausted, is it? I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe the challenge is going to get the materials. I don't know, but I did get them, but it was challenging. I had to go to Mushin. I had to go to Lagos Market. It was really, yeah. I would say that's the challenge. I had to order some stuff like yeah.
All right, that's fine. So, can you tell us about your social life in Caleb University?
You don't even want to know.
Please let us know.
Okay.
Firstly, based on the fact that you are this intense reader, so did you have time to even socialize or
Oh,
what? Okay, how was it? Let's know. Let's get into that. How was it?
well, I would love to say this. My social life was so boring, but it wasn't so boring. Let me not like discourage anybody that wants to, read and also like have a good time. Now, my social life wasn't boring because I was an usher. So let me just say my social life. From school, when I have my lectures, I go after my lectures, I get my food at the cafeteria. From there, like on a Monday to Friday, from there, hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay, sorry. So when I go to the cafeteria, I get my food and you know go into the from the cafeteria. I'm walking straight to my hostel. To be fair, so that's my Mondays to Fridays, and that's really it's not really social, but in my class, in my school, like in class, I laugh, I play with people like my friends. I have friend Oyin, Okechi, Demi, Eben, so many of my friends, Justina, like so many of my friends. I play with them like, so I wouldn't say I'm boring. I would just say like um I know what I want, if that makes sense. Um yeah, I play, but like I know what I want. So, so my social life was just that. And then on Saturdays I go for my workers meeting, and on Sunday I go to church, and you know that's just it. And Monday I repeat it. So social life, really, like in my school, there's actually really, my school is like, we I don't know, the social, maybe social life could be like you hanging out with your friends after school, right? Maybe in still being outside, or but yeah, I don't do that. So I'm just like always like in my hostel, eat my food, rest, pick up my books. It depends though. If exams is in like 3 months, maybe if I just resume a semester and I'm still having like lectures, I'm just going to get my food, go to the hostel, eat, and rest. The next day have another lectures. I'm not like reading. I don't like read immediately I come. You jig it like immediately a semester resume. I don't just like start reading. No, I wouldn't lie. Like no, I wouldn't. Maybe like when I see that it's getting a little bit, yeah, maybe like in 3 weeks or 2 weeks, then I start.
Thank you. So, Moti, when you're talking to someone, let's say, for example, that is non-expert in scientific fields,
Mm-hmm.
so how can you explain your course of study, like microbiology or scientific, what's it called, scientific concepts? How can you explain it to non-experts in that field?
Okay. Okay, if I want to explain microbiology using layman's sorry, is you basically, let me just say it. You have organisms. There are organisms everywhere. Okay, germs everywhere. But these germs, we call it organisms. And then um they could either be beneficial or harmful. For instance, there are some bacteria that is used in the production of yogurts that you eat. Those are the healthy bacteria. These are the good bacteria. There are healthy bacteria in your gut as well. The healthy bacteria, and then there are some harmful bacteria like E. coli. Um, so let me just, okay, yeah, so there are some harmful organisms and there are some helpful organisms. So it depends on the field we're talking about. If you're talking about medical, which I am, which I love, you're talking about the harmful bacteria that can harm your health, the good bacteria that can sustain your metabolism. So those are the two sides you're looking at it. So the bacteria that can help you, and the organism or the bacteria that can help you, and the bacteria that are harmful to you. The fungi that can help you, the fungi that are harmful to you. Parasites are not helpful to you. They are harmful to you, but there's some that are zoonotic and some are not non-zoonotic. So that's another thing. What other organism? Viruses are harmful to you. So like, you know, it's just I would say we're just dealing with organisms and how. it depends on the field. So if you're in food microbiology, you want to hold on to the good bacteria that is going to help enhance the food. And if you're going to pharmaceuticals, you want the bacteria that can enhance the creams that you use or the drugs. And you do not want the harmful bacteria in your space as a pharmaceutical company. So, and me, whereas me, where I work now, um, you necessarily don't care, but because you're working with the harmful bacteria, you're working or the harmful parasites, sorry, the harmful organisms. So you want to be careful there. I don't know if it makes sense to you.
Of
So
course, yes.
yeah. So I would just say basically, if I was to go deep, I think I think that was okay, right? Or do you want me to? It's okay, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Just the basics. That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hmm.
Thanks for that insight into
You're
what
welcome.
microbiology is. Talking about your skills and knowledge in microbiology, how
Mhm.
can it be applied to real world problems?
Real world problems, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, first of all,
Okay.
like my what I love to do, like AMR, antimicrobial resistance. How does it apply to the world now? Like I said earlier, um, the misuse of drugs. What do I mean by misuse of drugs? You have a drug, and your doctor prescribes, um, or your doctor prescribes your drug for you to use at a certain time, and then you like you don't like you don't use the drug at the time you're meant to use it. You're like misusing the drugs because it has an effect, so I'll get into that. And the overuse of the drugs, your doctor asks you to use two drugs, you're using four drugs, you're overusing the drugs, right? And little do you know that as you're taking in those four drugs instead of two drugs, what happens to you is that your system, your the organism that you're trying to suppress would create a resistance towards the drug because you're not using it in the right concentration. The organism, so over time, that's what they say, over time. So over time, it's over time though, the organism will start creating a resistance pattern towards the drug. And then you'll be like, oh, this antibiotics didn't work for me. You are the one that didn't really use it right, right? So the organism has is not suppressed. The organism has even thrived because you like you instead of it to bind. I don't want to go deep. I don't want to go deep. But how
Okay.
yeah, how it relates to what problem is that I'm just going to into that is that for antimicrobial resistance, so many people misuse and overuse drugs, right? So if um if we can have more awareness about the misuse and overuse of drugs, it will help us, the lab attendants, because we'll have less problems to solve because we are like physicians to the doctors, right? So we are the ones that tell the doctors the organisms that is present in the patients, and then the doctors prescribe the drugs. We tell them, sometimes we go as far as telling them the drugs that are suitable, like I said earlier, then they prescribe the drugs. So for it to reach us, um I think each individual, we need to create more awareness of antibiotic resistance and the overuse and misuse of drugs for me. So, in that aspect, microbiology plays a very crucial role in the world at large, in the country at large, even finding drugs, yeah, for illnesses on its own, like that project I talked about. It's already like, you know, yeah.
Thank you very much. See, I find that very inspiring. Thank you. So, Lem, because we're about to round up,
Yeah.
Motsi, can you know, GK is about, teaching about education, like creating content about education and all that. So there are some graduates out there, some are kind of finding difficult in applying for jobs and all that. So can you just give us like an insight into how you were able to like search for those jobs? Then you said you made use of Indeed, LinkedIn. So how were you able to? Was it that you just typed medical lab, or just do you understand my question?
Yeah,
Just give us the process of how you're able to do that, so
yeah.
people can learn on that. Thank you.
Thank you. So, um, I think it depends on the country that you are, because here, what they do mostly in America here, we do they do more of you get applying for your jobs online. So they have the Indeed, they have the LinkedIn, and I wouldn't want to be talking to people here. Let me talk to people in Nigeria. So if you want to apply, I feel like in Nigeria, if you're applying for jobs, um the LinkedIn and Indeed doesn't really help you, but it does. I think it doesn't really help you. I might be wrong, but what I would say is that, unlike here, like here, I couldn't go walk into a lab and say, "This is my CV. This is what I can do. Give me a job." So in Nigeria, you can do that. Like you can literally, you can go somewhere and say like, "Please, I have this CV and I really want this job." I think you can walk in, you get what I mean? So that's it on its own. But if they were to use LinkedIn or Indeed to get a job in Nigeria, I think what um they should do is, you have to apply for as many jobs as possible in your field, right? Apply just up in a day. Like in a day, I would apply for like 20. I'm not even joking. I'm not capping. Like 20, like back to back. Like I'm applying. So keep applying, and you can go into the LinkedIn sites. For LinkedIn, make sure you get like a LinkedIn profile for yourself. Build it up. Write what you do. If you're currently studying, write what you're studying. Say something that is like really catchy. Like um you get what I mean? Like I'm studying microbiology and industrial biotechnology at Caleb University right now. I look forward to working in the lab. Like, let people like see your profile, and just let it stay there, and then you can apply on LinkedIn as well. Indeed. So I don't know, like, yeah.
Thank you for that insight. So what advice would you give to students and even aspiring student that is hoping to study microbiology, or maybe just students generally? What advice would you give to them out there about their education, about themselves, just generally?
Yes. So the advice I would give any student is that be determined, um set goals for yourself, write things in your book. At this point, this is what I want to get. At the end of this semester, I want to have 5 A's. When you write those things, you can go as far as even putting it in your favorite Bible passage, because that's what I do. Write them down, put them in my favorite Bible passage. Pray that this is what you want, and God is very faithful. He will never, he will- trust me, he's going to give you the right tools. He will surround you with the right people. You can pray about that as well. Be determined and surround yourself with the right people. Like I said, like, surround yourself with people that want to read like you, people that want to build like you. And also, I want to say something. Whenever things are not going the way you want it at that moment, um, you can cry. You crying is not weakness. You crying is like you saying like, this is what you want, but it's not happening now, and you're expressing yourself. So you can cry, pray to God, cry. But I want you to listen to this. Whenever you cry, just clean your tears and stand up again. When I mean stand up again, when you cry, just take when you after crying, you've expressed that okay, this is not how you wanted this result to be. You take the book and you start reading again. I don't want like I don't ever be discouraged, okay? Don't ever be discouraged. Um just whenever you fall, like I said earlier, whenever you fall, just stand up again. Cry, wipe your tears and stand up again. And for microbiology students, when I don't know if this is right, but the way I worked, where I did my IT, it is one of the basic solid ground of my hands work, of my hands-on work. So if you want to do your IT, if you're studying microbiology, I'm saying this out of honesty. You work at NIMA. Like if you work at NIMA, we have there are three centers for microbiology. You are doing both viruses, you are doing bacteria, and you are doing Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Tuberculosis department on its own. So if you are studying microbiology, if you want to do your IT, go there. It's like you are building your hands, your lab hands. You're not just reading it now. You're you're going to see because Nigerians they fund NIMA. Like sorry, Americans fund NIMA. So like you're going to have a lot of hands-on work. Yeah, your experiences. So,
Thank you very much, Mottie. So to round up this section, I would like to ask you, how do you feel graduating as the best student of microbiology and industrial biotechnology? I had to just bring it to the last. So let me know, how do you feel like you were able to achieve your goals despite the intense reading, despite the challenges? How
yeah.
do you feel getting and reaching your goal?
You know what? I didn't know. To be fair, because I was here already. I was in America already um when we did our convocation. I didn't even know I was the best uh graduating student until the day when my friend was like, Moti, your name is the name on. I was like, what? What? I was so excited. I was so happy. I was like, but I want to say something. I don't think it was a miracle. Does that make sense? It is my hard work, but it was a miracle in the sense that um I didn't get to see my results on the sheets, right? So like I didn't know what my result was, and I didn't know if I was the one. Does that make so? Like at that point, I was like, I don't know if I'm the one or maybe somebody else. Like, so seeing it on the bulletin, I was really happy. I was thankful to God. I was grateful to God because I forgot to tell you something. When I said that I wanted to be the best, I told God that on my convocation day, I wanted to write um my testimony is that Jesus is my testimony. So and I told him that it's when I graduate with the best. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I told him that when I graduate with my best, that I would say that on my status. And little did I know that he actually wanted me to do that because you get what I mean. I ended up writing that. At a certain time, I told you I was doubting. I was like, I was doubting. So I felt, oh my, a call keeps coming in, and I felt really um happy. So yeah.
I'm so glad to hear. Thank you very much, Moti. And in that note, we've come to the end of exclusive interview series with Chiki Nigeria. And Moti, thank you very much. We are so honored to have